22nd of May, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Behar. Rabbi Moore, we can't see you, and I don't hear you saying anything.
Oh,
I see you now. I don't hear you.
okay,
Yeah,
good.
I hear you.
Again, my cable just got pulled. Okay.
Okay, I have to leave at 1:15 today.
Okay, fine. Let's say that.
So when I do that, I'll shut off the recording, but I'll leave the
Okay.
session going.
Okay, fine. Let's say that. Very good. Okay. Okay, we were on this pasuk in the Rashi here, Yom Kippurim. Yom Kippurim. Rashi says, this is where we were up to yesterday. I think you, Meir, you were reading. Who was reading that Rashi?
Right.
Meir, I think you were reading. But Yom Kippurim, pasuk tes.
Okay, it says, let's see, Yom Kippurim, on Yom Kippur. Yom Kippurim, mashma shene'amar b'Yom Kippurim. Okay, so what's being said on...
It would be understood. Mimash Meshanev would be understood for what it says, B'Yom Kippurim, right? Eini yodeh shu ba'asa b'chodesh. I don't know that it's on the 10th of the month. Chayetz davar poshet. Im kein lo manema be'asa l'chodesh. Why does it say, tell you it's on the 10th of the month? Elo lo'ima l'cha, to tell you as follows. Tzkiyash asa l'chodesh doiche Shabbos b'chol aretzecha. The blowing of on the 10th of the month, right, i.e. on the Yom Kippur of Yovel, is Doicha Shabbos in all your land, wherever it may be, even each individual. But the blowing of Rosh Hashanah is not Doicha Shabbos in all your land, Elo bebezdin bilvat, only in Bezdin. Now, this is, I was mentioning, hello? Yeah.
Well, I'm here, I hear you.
Yeah. I was mentioning yesterday that this concept of that you're not allowed to blow shofar on when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos is a drabonon, a rabbinical institution, not Issa Deraisa. As far as the Torah is concerned, the Torah says you blow shofar. You can blow shofar even on Shabbos as well. And horaya to that is because the Torah tells us that in Bezdin, right, where there is a presiding Bezdin of 23, a fully fledged Bezdin which has powers to impose capital punishment. Such a Bezdin, when there's such a Bezdin, there is Kiyah Shofar in the presence of Bezdin. Whereas where they daven together with the Bezdin, so therefore they will blow Shofar even when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos. Okay, but in the rest of all other shuls, all other places, all other individuals, they will not blow shofar when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos. Why not? Because the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah explains, and is also mentioned by Sukkah and mentioned by Megillah as well, is that we're worried that the over-enthusiastic shofar blower may want to know where I say, well, listen, I need to know how to blow shofar, and he's not maybe he's a, how should we say, I forget how you say it now. He's a newcomer right? He's never done it very often before, and he needs to practice, and he needs to go to an expert to practice. So he's going to forget it's Shabbos, and he's going to come to carry the shofar in the Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, says the Gemara, therefore, Chachamim instituted that when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos, we don't blow shofar. But it's purely a rabbinical institution. So how can Rashi explain over here? As far as Shabbos is, as far as Yom Kippur is concerned, Yom Kippur, even when Yom Kippur falls on Shabbos, there is, yes, shofar blowing in all your land, which implies that only Yom Kippur is the shofar blowing in all your land. But on Rosh Hashanah, there's no shofar blowing in all your land, but only in Beis Din. How can the Torah be the one to think? Because as far as the Torah is concerned, even on Rosh Hashanah that falls on Shabbos, there is shofar blowing everywhere. It's only a rabbinical institution not to. Okay, this kasha is asked by many. It's like a super kasha on Rashi over here. But what's even the bigger kasha is Rashi's not saying it on his own bat. He's actually quoting from Sifri, from Torah's Kohanim. Means the Tanoim, the Chachamim, who expounded the Psukim, they also explained it in this way. Rashi's just quoting from them. So what's going on over here? Now, one thing is interesting point. I want to mention two interesting points. One is Rosh Hashanah on a regular year, when it's not on Shabbos, is there any problem of carrying it in the Shus Harabim? I.e., are you allowed to carry on Yom Tov, Rosh Hashanah, which falls on a regular day, which is a regular Yom Tov? Are you allowed to carry?
Yes.
You are. The Gemara says in Beitzah that when the Torah permitted work to be done on Yom Tov, in other words, the prohibition against doing malacha, doing what do you call it, constructive actions on Shabbos, right? The prohibition to do so on Yom Tov is limited because you are allowed to do melachas, those activities on Yom Tov which you are required for preparing food. Melechas oichel nefesh is permitted on Yom Tov. And the Gemara in Beitzah says that included in that melachas of oichel nefesh are two melachas which may not necessarily be construed as melechas oichel nefesh, because it's not really cooking or baking or other preparation of food, the kneading, etc. Those two melachas are hitzah, carrying, and havara, lighting a fire. The Maisa, we pass on the Maisa that you're not allowed to kindle a fire, meaning to light a fire from nothing, but you can transfer one fire to another. Anyway, that is permitted on Yom Tov. Okay, so Nemaisa, even if the Torah would technically prohibit blowing shofar or carrying a shofar, if I remember correctly, carrying a shofar in the Rishus Harabim on Shabbos, when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos, but when Rosh Hashanah falls on a regular day, you have no problem of carrying. So there will be no place for the Rabbanon to make such a ruling if Rosh Hashanah falls on a regular weekday. So therefore, you have not cancelled out entirely the possibility of blowing shofar. Because when Rosh Hashanah falls on a weekday, you will be able to blow shofar. Only when Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos, the Chachamim were worried to come and carry it in the Rishus Harabim, and therefore the Chachamim said, you're not allowed to carry it. Okay? But what about Yom Kippur? Now, Yom Kippur has got the same din as Shabbos. There's no exceptions to the rule, and all 39 melachas are forbidden on Shabbos, including carrying in a Rishus Harabim. So if I'm going to institute this Issa Drabanon of not carrying the shofar, I was not blowing the shofar on Yom Kippur of Yovel because I'm worried maybe somebody's going to carry in the Rishus Harabim. Now, if I'm going to institute that on when Yom Kippur falls on Shabbos, By that same token, I should institute that prohibition every Yom Kippur, not just when it falls on Shabbos. Because every Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to carry in the Rishus HaRabim, with no exceptions. So therefore, what's going to happen? You'll have cancelled out the entire mitzvah of blowing shofar on Yom Kippur. If the Chachamim would have introduced this Issa Drabana of not blowing shofar on Yom Kippur, because we're worried you're going to come to carry the shofar on Yom Kippur in Rishus HaRabim, that will apply to every Yom Kippur of end time of Yovel. Because whether Yom Kippur falls on Shabbos, whether Yom Kippur falls on a weekday, you're going to have the same prohibition of carrying the shofar in Rishus HaRabim. So if that's the case, we've got an interesting situation as follows. Now, I'll give you another example. We know that if a child is born on a Shabbos, then the following Shabbos, which is the child's 8th day, the boy, right? Then you do a bris milah. Now, doing a bris milah involves doing a malachas Shabbos, because you cut off the foreskin, and that causes the child to bleed. Okay, and that you're not allowed to you're not allowed to make any form of incision, laceration, or whatever, which will cause somebody to bleed. That's an issa of netilas neshama. Causing blood to be let, causing somebody to bleed, is an issa of netilas neshama, because blood is considered like the life blood of the person. So therefore, had not the Torah permitted to do milah on Shabbos, okay, it would have been forbidden to do so. Why? Because it involves doing a proper malachas Shabbos. However, the Torah said explicitly, "Uvayoyim hashmini yimo b'sar olos." On the 8th day, you shall circumcise his foreskin. Okay? From here, now. So therefore, the Torah told you explicitly that despite having been involving what would have been a transgression, a malacha, a prohibition of cutting off the foreskin, the Torah says explicitly, no. On the 8th day, whether even be on Shabbos, you have a mitzvah to do the bris